Well, I mean, like pretty much anytime a cop starts telling me that they're good, then you know, I just automatically go, I don't know how much I believe that. I just don't know. I just don't really believe it a lot, to be honest, because most of the time you find out that they're not good. So, I mean, in 2022, I was extending a ray of hope. 2023, I've extinguished that hope. I mean, it's a terrible, horrible, disgusting system, and it's once read the Mullen Commission. Once you're wrapped up in it, you get stuck in this Death Star of evil, and if you don't toe the line, they kill you, they kill your family, they ruin your career, and there's too many of them. So it's unbelievable to me that a cop's even calling me to investigate another cop. That's unbelievable to me. Never have I in my life think that a cop would call me to investigate another cop.
Well, do you have any questions about that? I mean, hopefully I've been fairly clear on why I'm doing that.
No, I mean, I think you've been. If he's a bad copper, I hope he actually gets in trouble. But they hardly ever do. I mean, and by the way,
well, he was already in trouble, and then, like I said, his certification for the state of Colorado was being revoked. There's a process to that. And then in between the hearings for that process, your video was shot and published. Well, I don't know when it was shot, but it was published in between that process.
Pretty quickly.
And then
I put it out 2 or 3 days later. Okay. I mean, I shot it with him, and then I edited it the next day. It was out within 48 hours, I think.
Okay. And then, like I said, his attorney was using that and telling the Post board, hey, watch this video. The comments are very positive. And this was an overall good interaction with somebody who's typically pretty hostile to law enforcement, and yet this went really well. You should consider not revoking his certification. And I'm summarizing. That it looks a little suspicious on this end of things that you just happen to find Adam Hanna when it looks like you kind of travel all across the country.
Oh yeah, I travel all across the country. I go from coast to coast. I'm on a mission to show that the law enforcement system will never work. We have to go to a peace officers association, and we have to decentralize and get rid of all these stupid rankings, and then it would actually work. But as long as you have one person who's in charge of another one in peace officers, then you're going to have corruption. So that's
so
incredible.
I just want to be clear. There was nothing particular that brought you to Colorado, or specifically to talk with Mr. Hanna?
No. It was actually completely random. Dude got so lucky that I happened to walk up, and now the board is saying, hey, watch this video. Here's an example of a good cop, and what they're saying about him isn't true. Look at the good interaction he had with somebody who hates cops. The
board didn't say that. The board is the one who's making the decision to revoke his certification. His attorney, his defense attorney, brought it to the attention of the board and said, you should watch this video on how good this interaction went, and how he handled himself with this guy who's fairly aggressive with law enforcement. So you can understand how that appears suspicious, the timing of that, because it was in between these different hearings.
Well, I mean, the only time I would help a pig is if they were being attacked and their life was in jeopardy. If I'm for law and order all the way. I'm not a sovereign citizen at all. I'm for Jean-Jacques Rousseau's social contract. I've read it several times. So I'm for that. So the only way I would help a pig is if they were being attacked, and I'm not for violence, so I would stop that attack. But other than that, I would not help a pig. So if this video that I made with Adam Hanna helped him, it was not to help him. I did not know the man. We had never met previously. I walked away from the encounter, and a lot of my audience we were optimistic that there's actually a good pig in the world, but there's, now, I mean, this phone call, just so you know, just further indentures me into the camp that there are no good cops. That just puts me right back into that.
That's unfortunate. I mean, I can't change the facts of this situation. They are what they are, but yeah, it is, I guess there's some double irony there, and that's unfortunate.
Well, there's triple irony, quadruple irony, because I don't just walk up to – I randomly walked up to a dude on the side of the road. I happened to be in that part of town in Denver where I'm not from, where I was at a fight camp to train to fight a different pig. But that pig, my blood pressure went crazy because they stole my van. I got a whole troop of pigs on a channel stalk me, and half of them are cops or ex-cops. So it's.
But you had never had any prior interaction with Hannah, and you walked into a random cop car and he was in it.
Yes, believe it or not, yes.
Wow.
Dude, listen. I'm on the record here, man. I hate cops. Okay, I wouldn't do anything to help out Adam Hanna. I don't know the dude. I met him for literally 20 minutes of my lifetime. Never had spoken to him previously. Never had any interaction with him previously. He put on a good show, dude. A lot of people believed him on my channel and said, "Oh, see, there are good cops." And the whole time, the dude's under indictment.
Well, he wasn't under indictment. He had a felony case while he was a cop, and he took a diversion for that. And the post board, that's who certifies peace officers in our state, there's statutory requirements that they have to revoke his certification based on that other case. And so he was in the middle of that process, yeah.
So he's not a cop anymore?
No. Well, in Colorado, his certification is revoked in Colorado. What he's doing, I'm not positive.
Well, you're a copper. Why don't you guys get rid of this whole law enforcement garbage? I mean, that's what puts a divide between us, and it changes the mentality. Instead of going to protect and serve, you're going to law enforce. And I get it, you're an internal affairs cop, but dude, the whole law enforcement stick.
I'm not internal affairs. I just want to make sure you understand why I'm calling. I'm an investigator. I'm a detective. I work for a district attorney's office, but we are investigating this matter because it appears he was attempting to influence our post board, which is a felony. So it's not like I just investigate officers or...
Oh, you work for the DA's office.
I work for a district attorney's office, yeah. And because the post board would be a victim, they recuse themselves. They're not doing their own investigation, and they reached out to our agency to do the investigation.
Can I ask you a question kind of off topic?
Well, I got to stay on topic. You're an interesting guy. Maybe when I'm on my own.
Aurora, Colorado, Jeff Chostner watched the murder of Richard Ward on video and then said it was a justified murder. But the video, no matter what your policies are, videos show a guy open another guy's car door, attack him, and then murder him. That's what we saw on video. I don't care if the guy was wearing a badge or not. How do we get that grand jury? How do we get a grand jury to convene for Charles Warder, who murdered Jeff Ward? Murdered him in that junior high school. You know what I'm talking about. How do we?
Well, again, if I was on my own time, I could probably have an interesting conversation with you. But
brother, leave the dark ship. Join us.
Time. So I had a quick follow-up conversation or a question for you, real quick. You said you had a positive reaction among your viewers to Hannah. Did you receive feedback from your viewers about him?
Yeah, of course. You can go in the comment section and read what the people said about him. He was okay. Look, it's just like anything else. You go talk to a used car salesman and they tell you how great the car is and they're the nicest guy in the world. You drive the car home and it's a piece of junk. So that's how I see most of my interactions. These are the best cops in the world while I'm here with the camera. And as soon as the camera goes away, they're the regular people they are. So yeah, but my viewers said positive things about him because he put on a good show and said how he was a good dude and he didn't believe in all, he seemed malleable, that he would be willing to learn, but he was the guy who had the blue stripe tattoo down his arm. I remember that.
That's right.
Yeah, and
that's right.
He was going to change it to Old Glory, and I considered doing a fundraiser to change it, but I don't know how much my audience would want to put in money to give a pig a new tattoo.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm just saying.
Okay, so the extent of the feedback would be on the YouTube channel if I just kind of trolled the comments there.
Yeah, and remember, people only know what I presented. It was a much longer conversation where Adam portrayed himself in a much more positive light, and I just thought to myself, this just too good to be true. I haven't met a pig like this in my whole life. That's good. They're just all the Mullen Commission, the Wickersham, the Knapp. They all teach us that cops believe in a little bit of violence. They believe in violence. They're for it. They're pro-violence. So to hear someone say something different was different, you know.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate your candor about that.
Yeah.
That pretty much sums up what I was trying to understand from you. I think you can appreciate why I need to ask these investigative questions. Do you have a on-topic related question?
How do we get a grand jury convened for the murder of Richard? I said Jeff Ward. It's Richard
That's a
Ward.
big question.
I mean, come on, dude.
I can't take that one on.
Dude, you work for the DA's office. Do not be come on, man. Don't further erode my trust in anybody who calls themselves a cop. You saw the video. He's murdered the dude, man. Charles Warder murdered Richard Ward. And Jeff Chostner can just say, "Oh, it's justified," when we can see a video, bro. We can see a video.
If I would have a lot more, my answer would take on a lot more meaning if that was in our judicial district. I don't have any jurisdiction there, so
isn't it right down the street? It's a block away, right?
No, so I'm not in. That's Grand Junction. It's on the other side of the state.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So the reason I have jurisdiction over this matter is a little bit more complicated.
Well, dude, I'm not asking you to throw your professionalism into it. I'm saying, on a random conversation, I asked you this question: how do I get a grand jury convened for Charles McWhorter? How do we convene a grand jury to look at that video?
There's a mechanism to convene a grand jury, but that would be up to the DA's office in that jurisdiction.
Yeah, and Jeff Chostner said he's not going to convene a grand jury. What do we do? Go after him to impeach him?
I mean, DAs are elected officials, so...
You've seen the video, haven't you?
I'm not positive what you're talking about. I mean, I may have seen it, but I'm not putting names or anything. Chille, you've been super helpful.
All right, I know.
Thank you for cooperative, and I appreciate you taking my call.
All right, brother.
Do you need my name? Do you need my email?
Yeah,
do you need some way to follow up with me?
What's your full name and your email address? You know, listen, if you ever decide to leave the Death Ship, the Death Star, my organization is growing and growing and growing, and soon I'll be able to start hiring people. If you want to leave that dog shit and come to the light, let me know. Let me know, bro.
Okay, if you have any questions for me, shoot me an email or you've got my number. Thank you.
Thanks. Take care. Bye, buddy.
Take care. Bye.